Please stand for the academic procession. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I constitute this a congregation of Rhodes University. Please be seated.
The Chancellor, the Honourable Justice Lexham Party, the Chairperson of the Rhodes University Council, Judge Gerald Bloom, and other members of our council, our honorary graduate, Honourable Justice Madlanga, and Mrs. Madlanga, and the rest of the Madlanga family, O Bungan, O Khadebe. The University Public Orator, Distinguished Professor Paul Maylam, Prince Zolile Pence Namashe, Azwel Jigel, Azwel Jigel, Azwel Jigel, Azwel Jigel. And Mrs. Benz Namashe, Deputy Vice-Chancellors, Deans, Acting Registrar, Heads of Academic Departments and Directors of Administrative Divisions, Academic and Support Staff, President and other members of the Student Representative Council, proud parents, guardians, siblings, and friends of our graduates, honored guests, and most important of all, our graduates. It is a singular honor for me to welcome you all to the fourth of 6 Autumn 2023 graduation ceremonies of Rhodes University. On behalf of our Chancellor, the University Council, and the entire Rhodes University community, I offer our warmest and proud congratulations to each one of you, our graduates, on your graduation today. Your path to this glorious moment might have been long, difficult, and circuitous. Indeed, for many, the journey is neither straight nor smooth. But you have made it. Well done. We applaud and commend those of you who are first in their family to earn a university degree. This is without a doubt a truly proud and special moment for you and your family. I wish to call out for special recognition the local Makanda graduates, most especially those who have come through our university's interventions to improve the quality of learning and teaching in our local public schools. Thanks to the sterling work of our Community Engagement Office, GADRA, Mrs. Margie Keaton, Dr. Ashley Westerway, significantly more young people of Makanda are able to gain admission to Rhodes University than ever before. This year, a total of 50 graduates will be receiving their qualifications this year, and they have come through GADRA and the Bridging Project, which was established in 2017. One of these students will be receiving their bachelor's degree, and 9 will be receiving their postgraduate qualification. A fabulous achievement indeed. A special shout out goes to all the members of the Student Representative Council who are graduating this year. We are immensely proud of each and every one of them. Our hearts and thoughts go out to the families of our students who passed on in the course of their studies and whose graduation ceremony this would have been. We honor their memory and will always treasure the time we're privileged to share with them. Dear graduates, you will be the first to acknowledge that you did not reach this important and joyous milestone in your life entirely on your own. In fact, no one accomplishes something as significant as this on their own. The old adage, it takes a village to raise a child, is as true today as it has always been. And so we extend heartfelt congratulations to your family members, partners, friends, guardians, and all those whose loving sacrifices, constant encouragement, and unfailing support have sustained you throughout your years of study at Rhodes University. Your graduation today is their just reward, and they do deserve a thunderous applause. We also acknowledge with much appreciation and gratitude the role played by your lecturers, tutors, lab technicians, cleaners, cooks, mentors, wardening and support staff in creating a rich and supportive intellectual, social, and physical environment conducive to your personal growth, development, and academic success. We extend a warm and heartfelt congratulations to the 5 recipients of the university's highest honor, the honorary degree. They are the Honourable Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, Professor Jane Cherry, and our special guest for this afternoon, the Honourable Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, Professor Deborah Roberts, and Professor Helen Rees. Their personal journeys, selfless sacrifices, courage of their conviction, and achievements in public life, and distinction in some field set them apart from others and serve as an inspiration worthy of emulation by all of us. Dear graduates, you have received an excellent education from one of the finest universities in the world. With your Rhodes University education, you can face the future with utmost confidence, courage, and conviction. But always remember that the Rhodes University education you have received is not for your sole or private benefit. You are expected to use it to advance the greater common good. Your graduation today takes place at a particularly challenging time in the 29-year history of our young constitutional democracy. Our nation is at a crossroads. We have lost our direction, we have lost our way, and above all, we have lost our moral compass. We have elevated to positions of leadership and responsibility some people of questionable moral and ethical character. People who have no sense of the difference between right and wrong, just and unjust, fair and unfair, ethical and unethical, occupy positions of power and influence. The noble qualities and values of personal integrity, honesty, humility, compassion, respect for each other, fairness, empathy, selfless dedication to a common good, and willingness to put others first, that were so beautifully exemplified by the first president of the democratic South Africa, President Nelson Mandela, have given way to moral depravity, untrammeled greed, rampant corruption, venality, deceit, profligacy, and duplicity. There is a growing and palpable impatience, disillusionment, and disenchantment with the social, economic, and political state of our nation. All around us, we see pervasive and debilitating poverty and deprivation, existing alongside obscene and unbridled opulence, and vulgar and ostentatious display of ill-gotten wealth. State-owned enterprises have been hollowed out and are teetering on the brink of collapse. And this is most graphically exemplified by ESCOM and its interminable power crisis. In an 874-page report, the State Capture Commission has painstakingly documented how some state-owned enterprises conspired and colluded with some private companies to loot our resources for their personal gain. Sadly, more than 80% of our children cannot read for meaning in any language. They cannot calculate with accuracy up to grade 4. Do these young people have any future in our society? And what kind of future awaits them? There are concerted efforts calculated to malign, discredit, and delegitimize institutions of our constitutional democracy. The very foundational principles of a constitutional democracy are under fierce assault. And the very idea of a constitutional democracy is being intensely challenged, even by those who took an oath to obey, observe, uphold, and maintain the Constitution and all law of the land. We are on a ruinous path. We are on a perilous path. This is not the country, nor is it a society we had imagined when the struggle against the apartheid system was prosecuted. This is a time for a pause and a deep reflection. Time to act in defense of our constitutional democracy. A time for accountability. And above all, a time for leadership. All these challenges notwithstanding, we should never allow apathy, despair, cynicism, and despondency to take root in our society. We cannot afford to lose hope, and we cannot afford not to imagine a better society, a society that we deserve. And this is the significance of your graduation this afternoon. Hope, optimism, and a promise of a better tomorrow. So allow this hope and optimism to jolt you, to act with courage, conviction, and boldness, to make a positive change in our society. Young people like you have always been a catalyst for change in this country. I have great confidence in you and in your ability to lift our country out of the abyss into which it has descended. You see, in a democracy, ordinary citizens are the last line of defense against any uncaring or tyrannical government. And those of you who have had the privilege of higher education carry a particular responsibility, particular duty, a particular obligation to lead in our society and do so with integrity and become the voice of the voiceless. As graduates of the university where leaders learn, you have so much to offer our ravaged society and our broken world. Armed with the quality education you have received from this fine institution, and guided by our values of social justice, empathy, kindness, integrity, honesty, compassion, civility, and human solidarity, you can make a difference. You can pull this country away from the path of anarchy and destruction. There will be obstacles, there will be setbacks, and there will be mistakes and failures along the way. You must learn from these and be resilient and resolute in your commitment to serve our society and humanity. Never for a moment doubt your capacity to make a positive change. The education you have received from Rhodes University has prepared you for this. And never allow fear of failure to drive you into the safety and placidity of inaction. You are more than equal to the challenges that will come your way. In the 6 graduation ceremonies of autumn 2023, a total of 1,849 students will receive their degrees, diplomas, and certificates. Of these, 1,124, or 61%, will receive undergraduate bachelor's degrees, and 725, or 39%, will receive postgraduate degrees, postgraduate diplomas, and postgraduate certificates. Of the 725 postgraduate students, 69 will be receiving their master's and 23 doctoral degrees. We have a special graduation ceremony in October just for masters and PhDs. Listen to this. 65% of the graduating students are female students. Malbongwe. Malbongwe. Igama lamakhosikazi. Siyayibonga imbokotho. We do encourage young men to do their best to improve this percentage. 11% of those graduating are international students. With your graduation this afternoon, you join a special community of our alumni, extraordinary people who are making remarkable contribution and leading change in many and diverse fields of human endeavor. We will expect no less from you. We welcome you to this special and ever-growing community with whom you share a deep affection for this great university. In the years to come, we will follow your growth, development, and success as a professional with a keen interest, and will applaud you for the honor and credit you bring to your alma mater. May you look back on this glorious day of your graduation with great pride and warm memories, and may it serve as an inspiration and a springboard towards better and exciting things for you in life. At the end of this ceremony, when you are reunited with your loved ones, please give them a bear hug and whisper these words in their ear. Thank you for all that you have done for me. We wish you much success, happiness, and fulfillment in the years ahead. Above all, we wish you discernment and moral courage to serve our society and humanity, and do so with humility, with honesty, and with integrity. And so to all of you, Mazal Tov. Asante sana, enkosi, kyalibuha, nyabonga, kyalibuwa, ndolibuwa. Vielen Dank, ngiyathokoza, obrigado, inkom, shukran, Dr. Zikuro, merci beaucoup. Molte grazie, baya danki, zikomo kwambiri, bolsha espasiebo. Thank you very much.
It goes without saying that the application of the law should never be conflated or confused with the achievement of justice. as legal outcomes may not necessarily be just outcomes. It is the quest for justice that has underpinned the practice of one of South Africa's preeminent legal figures, Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga. A person whose career path has followed a remarkable course, starting out life in a rural village in the former Transkei, now the second most senior judge on the country's highest court, the Constitutional Court. The Transkei village was in Njijini, close to the small town that used to be called Mount Freer. His father, a teacher, encouraged his son to study law at what was then the University of Transkei, now Walter Sisulu University. There, a foundation laid. One would like to think, too, that the 2 years spent here at Rhodes in 1985-86, studying for his LLB, also contributed to the development of this glittering career. There followed a stint in the United States, obtaining a master's degree in human rights and constitutional law at the University of Notre Dame, followed by an internship at the Washington office of Amnesty International, further strengthening his commitment to human rights. After a 5-year spell working as an advocate in Umtata, he was appointed in 1996 as a High Court judge, also based in Umtata. This at the age of 34, making him, at the time, the youngest judge to be appointed to the judiciary. The rapid rise through the ranks continued. An acting justice of the Supreme Court of Appeal in 1998-99, then an acting justice on the Constitutional Court in 2000-2001. Then came a decision to resign from the judiciary and resume work as an advocate, with high-profile cases coming his way. For instance, representing the South African government in 2004 at the International Court of Justice in the Netherlands, contesting the construction of a separation wall by the Israeli government in occupied Palestinian territory. Later, serving as chief evidence leader, heading a team of 7 advocates at the Commission of Inquiry into the 2012 massacre of striking mine workers at Marikana. There have been other demands on his expertise. From 2004, serving as a member of the Competition Tribunal for 9 years, and appointed by the President as a member of the Judicial Services Commission for a 2-year term. The pinnacle of his career came in 2013, upon being appointed as a full member of the Constitutional Court. During these past 10 years on the court, Justice Madlanga has himself written over 40 judgments across a range of major issues, among them land rights, women's rights, electoral law. In one seminal judgment, he found in favour of a Labour tenant living on a farm, ruling against the landowner by pronouncing that Labour tenants had a right to security of tenure. This widely considered to be a significant judgment upholding human rights and human dignity. Another of his judgments affirmed women's rights in ruling that women in opposite-sex life partnerships had a right to inherit from their deceased partners. In 2020 came another judgment of enormous political significance, that it was unconstitutional to prevent independent candidates from standing in national elections, with an order that Parliament, by June 2022, enact legislation enabling this electoral reform, an order that Parliament has struggled to abide by. Such has been the respect for Justice Madlanga's legal acumen and fairness that of the 46 judgments he has written while on the Constitutional Court, 21 have received unanimous approval from his fellow judges, 17 have been accorded majority agreement, while 4 have had a dissenting judgment from just one judge. Justice Madlanga enjoys a distinguished reputation within the legal profession and within academic circles. In 2017, being the founding editor of the South African Judicial Education Journal, while also sitting on the advisory boards of other academic journals. There are publications to his name in leading journals. In one notable article, he criticizes the country's public procurement system and the corruption that bedevils it, arguing that this failure has negative implications for human rights. It is also noteworthy that he has proficiency in 5 of South Africa's official languages and some understanding of another 4. There have too been visiting professorships at his 3 alma maters, in 2013 at Notre Dame University, where he held a chair reserved for distinguished American and international legal scholars, also visiting professorships here at Rhodes in 2018 and at Walter Sisulu University in 2021. At the heart of Justice Madlanga's legal thinking and practice has been a deep concern for human rights and justice. I believe, he has said, that I have an instinct for what is justice, and that is what motivates me in my exercise of the judicial function. Add to this his special concern for just outcomes in the lives of those who are vulnerable and marginalized. For there to be such outcomes, marginalized people must at the outset have access to justice, this being one of his primary preoccupations. There is too his special sensitivity to the dignity and rights of women and the LGBTI community, and his belief that the judiciary should be striving to dismantle patriarchy and misogyny, insisting that judges in their rulings should consciously embrace the truism that women are equal to men and that several phenomena affect women in a myriad of ways not readily discernible to men. Today, we honour Justice Madlanga, a true son of the Eastern Cape, a graduate of this university, and now an honorary graduate. Described by the General Counsel of the Bar as a jurist with a reputation for excellence and a leader who commands respect. Renowned for his collegiality and capacity for consensus building, and generally viewed as the intellectual leader of the Constitutional Court. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honour to request you to confer on Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Please forgive me trying to log on. The Chancellor of Rhodes University, the Honourable Judge Lex Mpati, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Sizwe Mabizela, Chairperson of Council, Judge Gerald Bloom, my friend and classmate at this university, members of the University Council of Rhodes University, the executive management, deans, and academic, administrative, and support staff of the university, Prince Zolile Burns Nxamashe, the president of the SRC, Mr. Avusheni Kyala, my fellow graduates and family members, students and friends of the university, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I had a glimpse that I also have some of my colleagues here. My dear colleagues, I greet you all this afternoon. Let me start by thanking Rhodes University for this immeasurable honor. I am especially grateful because this recognition comes from my own university. Many thanks to you, Rhodes University, my alma mater. Let me next congratulate the graduating students. Yours has been an arduous path strewn with many a pitfall. Despite it all, here you are. Congratulations. The topic of my address is gender-based violence. Is there anything we can do? In South Africa, the slogan of the campaign against sexual violence, gender-based violence, and femicide is not #MeToo or #TimesUp, but far more chillingly, Am I Next? This slogan, while registering activists' vehement objection to the cruelty and injustice of GBV and its prevalence in South Africa, it reflects a sense of resignation to the pervasiveness of GBV in our society. This #revolution has its genesis in the horrific murder of 19-year-old Cape Town student Uyinene Mrwetyana. Her death tipped South African women over the edge and ignited a movement. Uyinene's story was powerful and uniting because no woman and no man with a heart and conscience could separate themselves from her and her pain. No one could, as is so often unjustifiably done, point fingers at her or blame her. Her experience left no space for common tropes such as she shouldn't have been out that late, or she shouldn't have been in that area, she shouldn't have been drinking or wearing that outfit. Do we ever say such things about men? Of course we don't. Uyinene's story was so relatable, so close to so many of us, not at all, quote-unquote, blameworthy. Blameworthy in quotation marks, as I say. She went to pick up a parcel from the post office on a Saturday afternoon and never came out alive. And the more we thought about it, the more shocking it became. This brings to the fore the stark reality that women in South Africa are not safe anywhere. Not at home, not at work, not in restaurants, not at schools and universities. And we now know, not even in the post office, not anywhere. It is alarming how women in South Africa truly identify with the slogan, #AmINext, because time and again, evidence has shown that no woman is immune to the dangers of GBV. Sekgofatsopule, Ntokozo Xaba, Karabo Mokoena, Zolile Khumalo, Nompumelelo Chaka, CM Lee, Jesse Hess, Megan Kramer, Uyathandwa Stirman, Lindelwa Penny, Uyinene Mkhwetyana. These are 11 women who were all brutally murdered in our country over the last 5 years in instances of gender-based violence or femicide. These women represent the tip of the iceberg, and they are part of the few whose deaths caught the public eye because they were widely publicized by the media. National tolls reveal that between April 2020 and September 2022, 988 women were killed by men in acts of domestic violence in South Africa. Yes, a very scary figure, but it says nothing about those women who are not killed or have not been killed yet, and some, if not most of whom, do not report incidents of gender-based violence. That must tell us that the true and full figures are horrifyingly high. Indeed, it is reported that compared to other countries, South Africa has extremely high levels of gender-based violence. What are the causes? That is a complex question. Time does not permit that I deal with them. Suffice it to say, not a single one of them justifies gender-based violence. How, if at all, is the judiciary to blame? We judicial officers are not free from blame. We do not always treat cases of gender-based violence the way we should. Part of the problem is that being part of the same society that breeds gender-based violence, we are not immune to the ills of patriarchy, sexism, and misogyny that are amongst the factors that are at the center of GBV. The approach of some of us to cases of GBV will be tainted by that reality. Justice Benjamin Cardozo of the United States confirms this thus: there is in each of us a stream of tendency, whether you choose to call it philosophy or not, which gives coherence and direction to thought and action. Judges cannot escape that current any more than other mortals. All their lives, forces which they do not recognize and cannot name have been tugging at them. Inherited instincts, traditional beliefs, acquired convictions, and the resultant is an outlook on life, a conception of social needs. In this mental background, every problem finds its setting, he says. Historically, a number of South African judgments on laws that were not only facially neutral in terms of gender, but were in fact gender neutral, were decided in a manner that discriminated against women. If, as I say, the laws themselves were gender neutral, these decisions could only have been informed by the outlook on life of the judges concerned. That outlook was one that saw women as undeserving of the benefits afforded by the laws in issue. Pitifully, despite the proscription of unfair discrimination against women, the experiences that, according to Justice Cardozo, inform the decision-making process of judges cannot disappear overnight. The experiences of judges, their outlook on life are deeply ingrained. Therefore, it would be naive to think that just because we now have a constitution that has a justiciable Bill of Rights, our decision-making will no longer be influenced by those experiences. Our experiences and the attitudes they engender do not disappear the minute laws with a patriarchal, sexist, and misogynistic flavor are wiped off the legal plane. They will continue to be infused into the thought processes of some, if not most, of us. A male judge may be completely oblivious to a factor that is crucial to the resolution of a dispute before him, and which would have been quite obvious to a female judge. And as male judges numerically dominate the judiciary, the male perspective will dominate legal thought and jurisprudence. To the undiscerning eye, that perspective will especially have a veneer of neutrality, when the reality is that it represents only a partial, skewed view of reality. What can each one of us do? Let me start with us, the judiciary. As male judicial officers, it is only when we are alive to the reality that our individual outlook on life does influence our decision-making, and that ingrained in that outlook on life are patriarchy, sexism, and misogyny, that we will be better placed to commence a process of self-correction. It is only then that we will embark on a path that will eventually rid us of this negative influence. Of course, that is not enough. The end point we should all strive for is to dismantle the patriarchal values underlying our judgments. We can reach that end point if, in our judgment writing, we consciously embrace the truism that women are equal to men. What about private individuals? What can you and I do if we are aware of a woman who is a victim of GBV? Let me start with us men. I will look at something which to the undiscerning eye may look quite benign. Some men may never have lifted a hand against a woman, but that doesn't mean that does not inhere in us that streak that just may be the trigger for us to do exactly that. Take this simple example. If when you see a woman make a mistake while she is driving, your instinctive reaction is, "When's Antoni kodwa lo mfazi? What the hell is this woman doing?" That should send you alarm bells. That should tell you that you have a problem. It means before you see a woman as a human being, just like you see her as a lesser species worthy of disdain. Or, worse still, you do not see her as a human being at all. You may think I'm exaggerating. In similar situations, do you ever say, "Yenza ntoni kodwa le ndoda? What the hell is this man doing?" I will be most surprised if you say you do. The angry reaction is, "Wenza ntoni kodwa lo mntu? What the hell is this person doing?" A stark difference. The woman is a woman, and the man is a person. To my mind, this is symptomatic of inarticulate prejudice against women and misogyny. And you never know if in future it will not graduate to physical violation of women. For a start, do not be content with the fact that you have never hit a woman or physically violated her in any other manner. It will be good to start with acknowledging that this is a problem. You must next work on it. You must aim to and eventually eradicate it from your makeup. Moving on to all of us, we each have an obligation to do something. Those who commit acts of violence against women and children look like you and me. They do not have it emblazoned across their foreheads that they are of this character. They are rarely ever strangers to the women on whom they unleash this dastardly conduct. They are someone's husband, partner, father, brother, uncle, cousin, or acquaintance. They live among us. We interact with them on a daily basis like the ordinary human beings they appear to be. In the case of Chabalala, Khampepe J says, the notion that rape is committed by sexually deviant monsters with no self-control is misplaced. Law databases are replete with cases that contradict this notion. Often, those who rape, and I would add, those who physically violate women in a variety of ways, are fathers, brothers, uncles, husbands, lovers, mentors, bosses, and colleagues. We commune with them. We share stories and coffee with them. We jog with them. We work with them. They are ordinary people who lead normal lives, end quote. We interact with them well aware of what they do to their innocent women partners. Well aware because in the dead of night every day, we hear the bone-chilling screams of our neighbor's wife or partner, and most mornings we see her with what is colloquially known as a blue eye, which she unsuccessfully tries to hide with sunglasses and makeup. We do nothing because we do not want to be involved. We do not want to be entangled in business that is not our own. Of course, we must interfere. At the very least, we must interfere by reporting. And this is practical. There is a site, gbv.org.za, and a number that may be called at any hour of the day, 0800-428-428, where we can report. The cries of Miss Precious Ramabulana impel us to. The last breath of fear-stricken Miss Zolile Kumalo staring at the muzzle of a gun propels us so. The thought of an excited Tsekhofats Opule expecting to meet her boyfriend only to meet her death enjoins each one of us to act. The courageous but hopeless fight for dear life by Miss Uyinene Mkhwetyana exhorts us too. The silent cries of the many who remain faceless and invisible to us, but whom we know are there, require of us too. That may be the only thing some of us will ever be able to do to extricate a woman or child from a life of unending brutality. Indeed, in some instances, it may be the only thing some of us will ever be able to do to save the life of that suffering woman or child. If that be so, why not do it? There is no excuse if all you content yourself with is that it is none of your business or that you do not want to interfere. You are complicit in the violation of innocent women and children. And those who can do more than report, by all means, they must do so. I do not claim to have bright ideas on what more can and should be done, but let us each do whatever is within our power to contribute towards curbing this scourge. And may ours be a lifelong aversion to and rejection of this abhorrent scourge. I thank you all.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts on the following candidates. Divine Chibonomu Anosike. William Alexander Asunga. Nwabisa Tess Banjwat. Eugene Banyini. Caitlin Rose Burton with distinctions in drama and linguistics and applied language studies. Sive Bavuma with distinction in drama. Marco Don Becerra Hernandez. Kwezis Posetu Bekwa. Caitlin Justin Bell. Talia Atule Bentele. Sasha Ciara Boss. Kelvin Gino Brown. Offense Peteho Bulane. Nhlonipo Butelezi. Kamveli Nhle Buhwa. Simanye Kalo. Tasnim Takira Kessling. Delia Ropafadzo Chigwende. Chimuka Milambo Chiulu. Asisipo Tembagazi Clay. Sibulele Bomi Talindle. Lauren Kelly Delpont with distinction in history. Kate Delport with distinctions in art history and visual culture and in English. Junaid Gerald Denston. Smamkele Desemela. Eso Nadingi. Samkelo Niko Lomo. Lisa Kanya Dobe. Chiara Dulab. Aviwe Janchi. Thank you. Sinekam Leonora is spent with distinction in psychology. Olwetu Fleck. Aidan Jarrod Fronaman with distinction in psychology. Tandogazi Fuma. Crystal Katung Fushane. Christopher Robin Gilmer with distinctions in classics and history. Siwongi Wegiyama. Rumbidzai Kondongwe. Mbalenhle Gova. Nwabisa Krutbum. Silindokuhle Guzana. Smamkele Nkwankwa. Jed Lily Hain. Lihle Harens. Cara Liv Hope the Flesh. Paul Excel Hansen Jule. Leletu Bianca Hlela. Caitlin Ho with distinction in journalism and media studies. Bronwyn N. Hucklesby. Tulumancho Chris Check. Kama Chantel Jack. Kungubele Yolisa Jali. Ryan John Duncan Jarvis. Jiru Alec Jiru Churin with distinctions in English and history. Chiti Kabre. Vimbai Chieza Kamunjoma Mugabe. Tatenda Angeline Kandororo. Shine Kanyane. Jordan Emma Kin. Lazarus Tabiso Hageng. Tamuhelo Mamponketsi. Amanda Kanyisile Kumal. Lunga Kibi. Julia Christine Kingham with distinctions in English and Journalism and Media Studies. Kimberly Morgan Cletty with distinction in English Language and Linguistics. Babalwa Clay. Liema Kosi. Ricky Junhao Lai. Isabel Holly Lil. Mapehelo Palisa Lebiane. Lifa Leve. Zara Limbada. Neo Kalion Mabala. Mamkambo Moteo Mabena. Nkosina Mandla Machastela with distinctions in industrial and economic sociology and organizational psychology. Maseho Lisedi Madisha. Zinhle Madolo. Keegan Tanaka Madzivire. Sitembele Londiwe Mafuleka. Mpo Magidi. Nompumelelo Mahushana. Luanda Magwa. Anam Mahala. Nozipo Samkelisiwe Mahlaba. Bongiwe Madlanga with distinction in psychology. Sipose tu Mahlasela. Inga Mahlatsana. Luliwo Azukiwe Makalima. Pindulo Evidence Makana. Anati Makedama. Tsepo Malivana. Koketso Johanna Maleka. Tawonga Natasha Manda. Liliso Minenhle Manda. Eric Mangwe. Ayanda Mangindi with distinction in journalism and media studies. Sanele Mangoweni. Tivani Harriet Mapengo. Busisiwe Mapumulo. Lisa Kanya Talita Mahashula. Keboneng Veronica Marekwa. Bonolo Amohelang Maribe. Mihlali Martin. Reneilwe Tsolomatsu Masete. Tendai Mashaba with distinctions in linguistics and applied language studies and psychology. Nomatemba Patience Masiza. Ngawo Yanga Mati. Apilile Matinise. You almost donated the phone to the dean. Luto Macholweni. Maseho Itumeleng Maubane. Tlantla Mavimbela with distinction in psychology. Tafadzwa Sera Mavu. Lungile Mazabane. Zukanye Mbali. Zakona Nelly Swambata. Sizile Beauty Mbenya. Andiswa Asanda Faith Mbona. Atandile Mboniso. Sinamile Nicole Mchuno. Subenati Shu Mdichwa. Siasanga Mdoko. Sanele Rose Meth with distinction in music theory and analysis. Karen Lina Meyer. Loiso Karel Mei. Amasles Amatlobo Mgobos. Anelisiwe Mkwanza. Lumise Mhlaba. Atule mkhulu. Stabile Barbara Mawona Mlambo. Mahlatsi Lawrence Modimakwane. Refilwe Savuya Mokitimi. Dumazi Lainamu Kwena.
Let's go! Let's go!
Litlohono Lomkwena. Diteboho Mulifi. Lindokuhle Kimberly Muloy with distinctions in psychology and sociology. Lauren Shannon Morris with distinction in psychology. Caitlin Megan Morrison. Damian Junior Morrow. Libohang Rebecca Moyo. Can I request the congregation to please rise if you can? Ms. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts on Zoe Zinhle Moyo. Zoe and her twin sister Renee embarked on their law degrees together in 2019. Late last year, Renee was unable to write her final examinations due to severe ill health. Very sadly, Renee, the twin sister, passed away earlier this year. She was only half of a credit short of her degree. Mr. Chancellor, in celebration of both Zoe's degree and the memory of our beloved twin sister, to Zoe Renee, I would like to, at this moment, present Zoe Zinhle Moyo. Thank you. We may be seated. Thank you. Thank you. Ingam Fihlelo Mpenges. Offense Benedicta Mpamo. Iso Nampepuka. Buhle Akona Mtetwa with distinction in journalism and media studies. Ntando Mtimkulu. Ruth Mgobo. Charlene Nyatela Mushwana. Matifadza Muza. Tutuko Mvula. Rubesen Naidu. Zola Asia Ngogazi with distinction in Chinese studies. Kanya Ndibaza. Chwanelo Ndlela. Hlosenhle Akona Ndlovu. Nomsa Loveness Ndlovu. Tamsanga Gift Ndlovu. Makabongwe Tando Enkosi Saziso Ndwandwe. Liswelihle Nzengu. Lebunelani. Lutendo Nemabola. Liseko Ngetane with distinction in drama. Cebisa Mugongwane. Samkele Ngema. Anele Nombulelo Ngubane. Apelele Ngwadla. Milani Ngokela. Tisetso Kwanda Nhlapo. Sesetu Nkangane. Musachi Kanema Nkanza. Makam Andreas Nkwanzi. Kamani Nkosi. Khanyisa Nkuna. Surprise Sophia Nkuna. Tando Nombeu. Aza Tumisa Noklaka. Litabo Joy Ntatamala. Monye Malibo Mchana. Amanda Tlaki. Caesar Kele Yanga Ntombela with distinction in psychology. Zikona Kaya Ntombolwana. Hetumetse Nchingila. Amangile Busisiwe Nxiba. Daniel Mutume Nyanzi. Nomvu Yonyoni. Talita Hope Padayachi with distinctions in English and history. Lerato Pai. Palisan Tabiseng Panyane with distinction in drama. Bongani Prosperity Pelemu. Sanele Philip. Leonard Lionel Peterson. Leabona Planga with distinction in psychology. Emily Kate Platt with distinctions in English and French. Frances Mary Paul with distinction in classics. Marisol Jacqueline Pretorius. Ramona Desir Elizabeth Radisson with distinctions in human kinetics and economics and psychology. Tabile Khalakhala with distinction in drama. Sposetu Khalo. Muketsi Daniel Ramotlanka. Litumile Rampele. Robin Lee Reid. Chad Rhodes with distinction in journalism and media studies. Daniel Andrew Septon Root with distinction in journalism and media studies. Jody N. Roy. Simpiwe Njabulo Sabelo. Siliziwe Ayaka Sem. Subenati Sanga. Litabo Sikwele. Offense Silibocho. Samaswazi Geri Simnikiwe Sibanyoni. Fuisa Sikonyela. Lupili Lelaki Sifluko. Kamuhelo Mbali Silinda. Sipesihle Slumko. Awetu Asivile Sineke. Zimkita Sishuba. Prevail Mushluhi Sitole. Lukanyo Siwisa. Iviwe Siyeka. James Cohen Slater with distinctions in philosophy and psychology. Budlebenko Sisivuyile Sondiazi. Mutebisi Sive Sonsel. Capella Rose Sontacha with distinction in isiXhosa language acquisition. Abongile Donald Distofile. Candace K. Swart. Owetu Sibusiso Tabete. Mujabeng Charlotte Tamai. Ribone Nelisiwe Tobel. Azoletima. Lana Taula. Tengesihle sipesihle twala. Aisha Abram Fahed. Nia Seleith Beth van Nikek with distinction in English. Indivabale Vanda. Luchwaito Vena. Vulelani Vuso. Albanik Zandre Williams. Bonga Williams. Kulumanso Kulungile Willy. Teresa Mpo Willoughby with distinction in journalism and media studies. Adrian John Wright with distinction in psychology. La Velikwezi Liwalam Shintol. Awongiwe Kamatuma. Tobela Faith Zulu. Mbalele Nomfundo Zwane. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Bachelor of Fine Art on the following candidates. Mvuyo Pride Talasile with distinction in art, history, and visual culture. Kate Sarah Duke with distinction in art, history, and visual culture. Jesse Lee Edom with distinctions in art, history, and visual culture and fine art practice. Honorary Erasmus with distinction in fine art practice. Shante Atena Jackson with distinction in studio practice. Emily Taylor Lacon Allen with distinction in art, history, and visual culture. Karen Brittany Likay with distinctions in art, history, and visual culture and fine art practice. Muyon Daniela Mafulu with distinction in art, history, and visual culture. Shante Momson with distinction in fine art practice. Daniel Retief with distinctions in art, history, and visual culture and fine art practice. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Bachelor of Social Science Honours on the following candidates. Nonyezi Chloe Bill in Organizational Psychology with distinction. Mazita Vuzijena in Organizational Psychology with distinction. Jeffrey George Kalitz in Economics with distinction. Alois Nadine de Klerk in Anthropology. Tande Katakona Dlamini in Political and International Studies. Liema Dosini in Economics. Jodine Paul Hueman in Interdisciplinary Studies. Nonhlakanipo Kwala in Industrial and Economic Sociology. Azilia Nerine Robin Harker in History. Haden Dean Harris in Anthropology. Butanani Vyokazi Makalima in Sociology. Yehudah Anesu Manasseh in Development Studies. Hauhelo Helen Mkumbeni in Political and International Studies. Nseben Goodness Mtaung in psychology with distinction. Tabanabo Mutubatse in industrial and economic sociology. Malumbo Msutu Ndlovu in industrial and economic sociology. Pamela Misheri Mtichane in development studies. Panashe Mufukari in political and international studies and sociology with distinction. Kambaga Zibongiwe Myataza in political and international studies. Sinokuhle Mzondo in sociology. Nompumelelo Agnes Nderere in development studies. Kini Plaiki in industrial and economic sociology. Tsidi Khala in political and international studies. Rebecca Lee Reed in environmental science with distinction. Joshua Rees in organizational psychology. Utandile Siambulela Samela in organizational psychology with distinction. Saskia van Hoons in psychology with distinction. Tiffany Ember van Wyk in psychology. Zamokuhle Isabella Ongo in psychology. Minenhle Yeka in political and international studies. Tadiwa Zingwe in political and international studies. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to request you to confer the degree of Master of Fine Art on the following candidate. Julia Ruth Abaco with distinction.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor of presenting to you Professor Megan Campbell, Ms. Ngobile Msomi, Dr. Duane Boyson, from the Psychology Department in the Faculty of Humanities, and Ms. Christine Lewis and Ms. Mandisa Dabula from the Rhodes University Wellness and Counseling Center for the Vice Chancellor's Distinguished Award for Community Engagement. The Vice Chancellor's Distinguished Community Engagement Award is a prestigious and competitive annual award which recognizes meaningful and committed partnerships between the members of the university and community partners in the areas of teaching, learning, and research to contribute to sustainable human and community development. It is imperative for universities to contribute to social and epistemic justice and equality by forming partnerships with communities outside the university. And they achieve this through community engagement, which is one of the core functions of higher education alongside teaching and research. Rhodes University has become a leading engaged university with a number of internationally renowned engaged research programs and meaningful community engaged learning partnerships. The winners of the 2022 Vice Chancellor's Distinguished Award for Community Engagement, Professor Campbell, Ms. Msomi, Dr. Boyson, Ms. Lewis, and Ms. Ndabula, engaged with leaders in the Joza community to establish a much-needed facility, the Joza Assumption Development Center, ADC Counseling Center in Makanda East. The work of the hub was made possible through partnership building and collaboration between three partners, namely the Assumption Development Center, Rhodes University Psychology Clinic, and Rhodes University Student Counseling Center. The history of the hub is also manifold. Several years ago, a smaller counseling service for pupils at Nombulelo Secondary School and the Joza Youth Hub was established. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Ms. Ngobile Msomi also offered online counseling support to school leaders, teachers, and learners. Out of these various efforts and partnerships, the Assumption Development Center ADC Counseling Hub was established based on a deep understanding of partnership building as a key component in the application and success of community engagement in higher education. The application requires an intervention to focus on addressing community needs as identified by the community partner within their particular context. It challenges the psychologists to work in collaboration with their community partner to bring about interventions that meet these needs. And in so doing, the psychologist respects and promotes the community partner's agency for change. The hub has transformed the Rhodes University space by building on the principles of community psychology and community-based service learning within the Masters in Counseling and Clinical Psychology programs, as well as in the internship year offered by the Rhodes University Student Counseling Center. This hub provides counseling and psychological support beyond the university space, whilst developing key skills of university students and academics. Over the past 19 months, the hub has implemented and succeeded in firstly providing mental health resources in the form of individual counseling and psychoeducational workshops for people living in Joza and accessing services at the ADC, particularly the youth of Makanda. Secondly, facilitating community-based service learning training opportunities in community psychology. The university team is immensely applauded for the imagination and courage as they work towards transforming curriculum to be contextually relevant in community psychology and building a sense of place with their community partner the ADC. The selection committee strongly believed that the inclusive partnership development process of the hub, the trust, commitment, and the impact of the hub on the youth of Makhanda were significant indicators of a sustainable community engagement program worthy of the Vice Chancellor's Award. Through this hub, the university responds timeously, effectively, and collaboratively to fulfill its moral, social, and transformation imperatives through community engagement. We therefore congratulate all the members of this exceptional team and all the people that they worked with. Mr. Chancellor, it is an honor to request you to award the Vice Chancellor's Distinguished Community Engagement Award for 2022 to Professor Megan Campbell, Ms. Ngobile Msomi, Dr. Duane Boyson, Ms. Christine Lewis, and Ms. Mandisa Ndabula.
Also confer degrees on those candidates named in the program who are in absentia. Please rise for the national anthem.
Africa, Malubaganiso, Bonoloi.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I dissolve this congregation of Rhodes University.